Hey guys, so it is the end of the 2018 deer season. I ended up not getting anything. This year I decided to really just stick with the bow the whole season, which was kind of a fun decision, but also might have been a bad decision. I think I might have been able to get something with a gun. I could have went out to some different land and stuff, but this year I was devoted to my bow. I wanted to try to get it done with the bow. This video here is just going to be a few of the things that I kind of got or I learned this season, things that I'll be able to become a better hunter for next year and potentially be a little more, or hopefully be successful next year. So the first thing I learned, and which was the first thing I've ever done this year, was really actually take the time and film while being in the stand. Is significantly different than just hunting. Hunting, you can just sit there and then you're just ready to have the deer come and hopefully get a shot. This year, anytime a deer came out, my main goal was to get it on camera right away. So I had to make sure I had both the DSLR and the GoPro running, or my phone at times to get Instagram pictures or some different videos and stuff like that. So it's a lot more of a challenge when you're trying to record everything. So I had the Nikon, my DSLR, up on a on kind of like this tripod gooseneck kind of style one, which worked, but then I don't know, it was hard to move around. When you wanted to move it, it wasn't smooth and you had to use both hands. But when you're trying to use both hands while you're trying to hold your bow and kind of hug your bow in and then rotate the camera, it was really hard. And then the GoPro was on just a standard gooseneck with a clamp on it. Works great. It was awesome, other than when you try to rotate it in the cold, it would creak and all kinds of stuff. So coming into the 2019 deer season, I would be buying just a basic mount for the camera to sit off the tree with a couple arms that I can have like a slow pan head and something that can get a little better footage and smoother footage, and it'll be easier to set up. Another thing that I'm going to be working on with that is, or another thing I need to try to figure out, is the battery life. When you're out in 0 to 30-degree weather for most of the season, batteries die really quick. So I need to figure out something. I mean, with the DSLR, I was always just putting kind of like a hood off one of my jackets on it, which helped. And then also that helped with if it was snowing or raining. At least it didn't get all that moisture on it. But batteries are always dying quick, so I always had to have like 2-3 batteries in my pocket that I could switch in and out, and then kind of warm the battery up, and then I'd be able to put it back in. Another thing with the filming, I think I might move a couple stands for optimal filming for next year, because I kind of know where things are going. So that was my first thing. Is I really learned a lot on how to film and learned things that I'm going to do better next year for filming. So the second thing I learned this season was how much I could move and how much noise I could make while deer were coming to me, right below me. I was able to figure out when a deer starts walking, I can do a few more motions, kind of get my bow ready, or move the camera to the angle and kind of flip a switch and turn it on and get it going. Another big thing was when deer were right below me, I was kind of being able to figure out how much motion I could make while they're eating right below me, which is really cool. I mean, this year I've had more deer in within 5-10 yards of me than I've ever had. It was a good learning season. So with the camera and getting that ready, I was able to, and then knowing when a deer came behind a tree, I was able to move the camera, and it helped a lot. I mean, I spooked a few deer at the beginning of the season, but I started getting a little better and better, and I mean, at the end, it didn't seem like I was spooking deer when I was trying to get the camera rolling and stuff. So that was a huge thing that will benefit me next year. I was able to figure out when to move and how to move while deer are around. So the third thing I learned this season was calling in a buck during the rut. I had a buck come out of a bedding area and he was headed directly away from me. I grunted at him a few times. He wasn't super interested, got his attention a little bit. And then I really just I moved the grunt tube down away from me, down this kind of valley, or I guess not valley, but a little trail. And I really laid into it and got his attention. And at that point, he was just bound and determined to see what was going on. So he came right back into the bedding area he was and came right down to me. It was a really cool experience grunting and actually calling a deer in like that. Next season, I know kind of what to do a little bit better. I know how to grunt. I grunted at quite a few deer this year, and I was able to see the reactions, and I was able to move quite a few of the little bucks around and kind of call them in, and then they'd move out a little bit and call in and just get their attention and see what they liked and didn't like. It was a cool experience, and I'm glad I was able to do so much of it this year. I know it'll benefit me next year. So the fourth thing I learned this season was I was able to understand the property a little better. I had my 2 trail cameras out there, or 3 trail cameras out there all season, so I was able to kind of see where the deer, they'd hit one trail camera, hit the next trail camera, and then hit the third trail camera during the night. What I realized is that at night they go to the neighbor's field and the neighbor's property, and then in the morning they come back and they kind of bed on our property. It's beneficial. It's going to be great to know that I can kind of know which stands I need to sit. Another good thing was I was able to kind of meet some more of the neighbors. So I exchanged numbers with a few of the neighbors, so I was able to contact them if anything happened, or when a deer was injured, I was able to contact them and talk to them and know property lines and stuff like that. So it was a good season of learning, and I know where the deer are moving a little better. I still don't know why our property just completely dies right after, I guess really in the beginning of November kind of thing. It's really, there's a lot of motion, a lot of rut action going on at the end of October and maybe the first week of November, but once gun season kicks in, it's almost a waste of time to be out there. I was out there opening weekend pretty much the whole time, and I heard a ton of gunshots around in the surrounding area, but I think I saw 1 or 2 doe and then 1 fawn. I had them in nice and close, and it was a really good experience still, but during the gun season, the deer just shut off there. They don't use our property at all. So that's something I have to figure out. I don't know if it's that we don't have a lot of food, or if they are going to the other bigger woods away a ways. But that's one thing I still have to work on and figure out. But I did learn their motion during, September, October time. So it was a good season like that. The fifth thing I learned this season was I paid a lot more attention to wind direction and which stand would be optimal to hunt. In episode 7, when I actually shot the one buck, I called him out. He came right down in this area. My wind was going right at him, and when he started to come out into the trail when I was getting ready to shoot, you could definitely see he was hesitant, and he was looking in my direction. He didn't fully spot me, but he knew something was kind of going, because my wind was going right at him. I wasn't expecting the deer to come out there. I was expecting him to come out behind me or over to my left, but the wind direction, I did pay a lot more attention. I picked stands specifically for that. By now knowing which direction the deer are coming, it helps a lot. So I played wind direction a little bit more. That was kind of something new for me. Usually I just pick a stand because, that's where I saw deer before. So now I'm being a little more strategic with what I'm doing. So overall, those are some of the things I learned this season. It was a great season, other than not getting anything. I learned a lot, and I'm excited for the 2019 season. I'm already planning on how I'm going to move a few stands, where I'm going to open up little spots for better shooting, and I know where the deer are moving a little better now too. So we're gonna be out there for turkey hunting, and then I'm gonna keep my trail cameras out there all summer to watch the growth and kind of know what deer are gonna be on the property and which ones made it through this pretty cold and harsh winter. I'm hoping a lot made it through, but you never know. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.